So howdy friends, Brian Flechsig, a matter of outfitters in the Midwest fly fishing schools, and coming at you today with a video that is featuring our great friend Tim Rajeff, and also the CEO or owner now of Echo Fly Rods, Jamie Hickson. We were actually sitting on Flip Pallet's front porch doing some work on a new rod that Echo has coming out with designed by Flip Pallet. Anyways, we were just kind of doing a little interview style, talking about some different things, but you know, one of the things we did touch upon, the reason why Echo doesn't put a hook keeper on certain rods and how Echo does things a little bit differently. You know, it was a couple years ago and we were doing a video on how to button up your rod. And it's great, I used it on and there's something that Flip taught us. And it's especially useful when you're riding around in a boat or putting your rods in the back of your truck. And we hook the hook on one of the snake guides and then wrap it around the reel. You've all seen that before. If you haven't, I'm sure there's a link. And we talked about the fact that you didn't necessarily need a hook keeper. Oh my gosh. People went and climbed out of their skin because certain rods did not have a hook keeper. Most people claimed that it was because the rod companies were being cheap. And so in this video, you're gonna find out that that's not the case, at least when it comes to Echo, coming right from the owner and ex-owner and designer. And they're also going to talk about how on some Echo fly rods, they do things a little bit differently with certain models. Let's welcome Tim Rajeff and Jamie Hickson. The Simms Latitude Bi-Comp shirt is a favorite at Matter of Outfitters. The Latitude Bi-Comp shirt has a combo of woven and knit fabrics for durability and breathability. Snap button closures with 2 zippered chest pockets. It features a large mesh vent on the back for breathability, thumb holes in the sleeves for sun coverage on the hands, and sunglass microfiber on the center hem. The collar buttons up high for sun protection, and the shirt is rated UPF 50+, so you're getting top-notch sun protection, and is a shop favorite at Matter of Outfitters. You can get one using the link in the description or at matterofoutfitters.com. Well, friends, we're here with Tim Rajeff of Echo Fly Rods. And Tim, the subject is hook keepers, which we never knew was such a controversy. But tell us, and be honest, is Echo leaving hook keepers off of rods because you're cheap and you're trying to save a quarter?
Well, it's not a quarter.
Okay.
But hand over heart, hook keepers are not the reason. The money is not the reason to have a hook keeper or not have a hook keeper.
Okay.
There are some serious engineering reasons why on some models we don't use hook keepers. So it's not money.
Okay.
Do you want to know why?
Yes.
In this environment where Flip lives and fishes, you almost always make a long cast, and let's say you got 20 feet of line coming up off the deck of the boat, you feather it through your fingers, slide it down, and it just comes settling into your hand. You start stripping. In our area, where I'm shooting in a lake, if I'm fishing for salmon and steelhead, sometimes I just shoot to the end of the line. When that last bit of fly line comes flopping up off the deck, off the water, off your hand, the momentum, when it hits the end of the reel and you look really cool, like Echo Man, that momentum, that line often wraps around the rod. Mm-hmm. And if you have a fixed hook keeper there, it's not uncommon. When I guided in Alaska, it was all the time. People shoot line, that line wraps around and gets snagged on the hook keeper.
Yep.
And it's not every cast, and somebody said bull, but it's true. That happens. There's a lot of better places to put it and deal with a hook keeper. So we actually have some solutions for that. You can...
Yeah, in fact, we were talking with Jamie Hickson, who is now owner and designer of Echo Fly Rods. So let's get him in here and show a fix that are now on some Echo rods, and will be on some Echo rods moving forward. So welcome, Jamie Hickson, Echo Fly Rods, owner and rod designer, alongside Tim Rajeff and Kelly Gallup, and now Flip Pallet. Quite the lineup you have there at Echo now. But actually on the Echo 84B, which is one of my new favorite rods, and Mad River Outfitters is selling the heck out of these things, and we're going to sell more once we do some actual reviews on this rod. But you pointed out that you've come up with a fairly innovative hook keeper and kind of a new design that, quite frankly, I wasn't even aware of. So tell us about that.
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, we took kind of Tim's experience in casting and how we were leaving off hook keepers on certain rods when they're used for distance or sinking lines, certain things like that. But we also heard people, and, we realized how Flip was doing his, rigging up his lines when he didn't have a hook keeper. And we took that and we kind of changed it and we adapted into our reel seat, a new hook keeper to solve this problem. So now we've got Flip's wrap here. Now we've added a hook keeper on the bottom of the reel seat. So it hooks in right under the hood. It's kept right there, safe out of the way, and safe out of the way of when you're casting. We're hoping to incorporate this in more rods in the future. Maybe some of our existing models will also see this that don't now have hook keepers.
So there's a slot. Is the slot on either side?
There's a slot on both sides, so you can hook it on either side of the reel seat. Currently, there's not a mark. We are changing that in production. We're going to add a mark to show where those are, whether it's a dash or maybe an arrow, to kind of let people know and be aware. Because I know you weren't even aware of this, and this is, something that we kind of get ahead of ourselves sometimes when we're designing. We're so excited. We're like, oh my gosh, we're going to do this. It's going to be awesome. And then we forget to tell people that it's there.
We've sold hundreds of rods, and I did not know that was there.
Right.
Until we got here to Florida and started talking about the hook keeper thing, and and we're asking not only you folks at Echo, but some of the other brands why they're leaving hook keepers off, and is it because they're cheap, which is what a lot of folks are trying to say, that they're leaving them off so they can save money.
Right.
And I just can't believe that, whatever it costs.
If
a quarter, $1.
Yeah, if that was going to make or break a rod, we probably wouldn't be making the rod anyway, because there just wouldn't be enough there.
Yeah.
So that's not why we do it by any means. We do it for performance or because it, makes the rod work better in certain situations.
Right.
But now we're figuring out ways to also add a hook keeper to help everybody.
So, in other words, there's options.
There are options, yes.
All right. Well, thanks, Jamie. We appreciate you. And stay tuned for more on the Echo 84B, one of my new favorite rods. So I hope you enjoyed that talk. I mean, when I saw that, I thought it was pretty cool. I think Flip Pallet did something similar with some TFO rods as well. And quite frankly, I don't think it's really ever been published all that well. But certainly there's just a lot of people that like to scream and whine about the fact that they don't have a hook keeper on their rod. And, if you don't want to buy a rod because it doesn't have a hook keeper, well, this is America.
It's America.
And you don't have to buy the rod. But if it doesn't have a hook keeper, there's plenty of ways around it. And on some rods, there's a hidden hook keeper. So be careful what you wish for. Anyhow, thanks for watching as always, friends. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That really helps us out. Hit that like button. Hop on over to our website and register for our monthly newsletter. And stay tuned. We've got a ton of fly fishing content coming your way. At Mad River Outfitters, we love to support artists in the fly fishing world. That's why we love the DeYoung coffee mugs. These full printed mugs showcase some of the best of Derek DeYoung's artwork and are made right here in the USA. We have them in multiple colors like brook, brown, rainbow, and cutthroat trout, or even tarpon. So pick up a DeYoung coffee mug by using the link in the description or at madriveroutfitters.com.